All right, let's dive into a massive question that's on everyone's mind if you work with data. Is AI going to be your new best friend, or is it a huge roadblock for your career? Whether you're a seasoned pro or you're just getting started, how you decide to use these new tools, well, it could literally define your entire future. So yeah, let's get into it.
So here's the real conflict, right? This is the heart of it all. On one hand, AI seems to promise us this amazing shortcut, a way to be faster and smarter. But on the other hand, what happens if we lean on it too much? Is it helping us climb that ladder of expertise, or is it kind of sawing off the rungs right below us as we go?
Okay, so first up, let's talk about the pros, the people who've already put in the hours and really mastered their craft. For them, AI isn't some kind of replacement for their skills. No way. It's more like a massive performance boost, an accelerator.
I mean, look, an expert can do all this stuff on their own, for sure. But why would they? They can just hand off all the repetitive, time-sucking parts of the job to an AI. It's kind of like a master chef who has an assistant to do all the vegetable chopping. It frees them up to focus on the big picture, the really complex, strategic stuff. And the result? The whole process just gets a serious turbocharge.
And this, right here, is the absolute key. The AI is an incredibly powerful tool, but it's the human expert who's calling the shots, providing the strategic direction. They aren't just hitting a button and hoping for the best. They are guiding the AI, they're questioning its output, and they're making sure the final result actually makes sense. The human is the pilot, not just a passenger along for the ride.
And here's a perfect example of why that control is so critical. If you just feed a data set to an AI and say go, it might just default to a really simple model like linear regression. But an expert, they know the nuances. They might tell the AI, nope, use a random forest model, because they understand the complexity of the data and what the project is really trying to achieve. And that expert judgment, well, that's the difference between a generic answer and a powerful, correct one.
Okay, so that's the expert. But what about someone who's just starting out? This is where things get tricky. For a beginner, using AI as a shortcut can be a really dangerous trap, one that can stunt their growth before they even get a chance to start. This all comes down to a really important idea in learning called scaffolding. The concept is pretty simple, but it's profound. You have to build a strong foundation to support all the advanced knowledge that comes later. You can't build the 10th floor of a skyscraper if you haven't built the first 9. And it's the same with data analysis. If you use AI to skip learning the fundamentals, you're never going to build the intuition you need to become a true expert.
This is a perfect analogy, and it goes way beyond data. Think about it. Why do we learn algebra? It's not just to solve for x. We learn it because it's the language we need to understand calculus. In the exact same way, a new analyst needs to learn the algebra of data, those core skills, so that one day they can finally understand the calculus of deep strategic insights.
So the real path to mastery kind of looks like this. Every single step builds on the one before it. If you use AI to try and jump from step 1 right to what looks like step 3, you've missed the whole point of the journey. Sure, you might get an answer, but you won't have that deep understanding that really defines what an expert is. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom for beginners. Not at all. It is absolutely possible to use AI to help you learn without falling into that trap. The whole key is to use it as a tutor, not a crutch. So let's look at 2 fantastic ways you can do exactly that.
So, the first method is all about you staying in the driver's seat. Let's say you come across a concept you don't get. Just ask the AI to explain it to you in simple terms. Or maybe you need some good resources to study a topic. Ask the AI to find them for you. See, in this case, you're the one actively directing your own education, and you're just using the AI as this incredibly smart, patient, and always available teaching assistant.
The second method completely flips the script. Here, you're the one asking the AI to become the teacher. You could tell it, hey, quiz me on some key statistical concepts, or here's my explanation of this analysis, what do you think? This forces you to actually recall information and put your thoughts into words, and you get instant feedback to see where you went wrong. It's honestly an amazing way to make that knowledge stick.
So, whether you're an expert who's speeding up your work or you're a beginner using AI as your personal tutor, one thing becomes crystal clear. There are core parts of this job that are still uniquely and really powerfully human. First up, and this might be the most important one, is just defining the problem in the first place. Real analysis, it doesn't start with a nice, clean data set. It starts out there in the messy real world. It starts with talking to people, with understanding their real challenges, and with figuring out which questions are even worth asking. This is all about context and human curiosity, something an AI just can't do on its own. Sure, an AI can find individual facts for you, it can even summarize a chart, but what it can't do is synthesize. It can't take all those separate little pieces of information and weave them into a single coherent story. A great analyst is a dot connector. They build a narrative where the whole thing is so much more meaningful than just the sum of its parts.
And finally, there's the ultimate human skill. You see, great analysis takes creativity to spot patterns that everyone else misses, and it takes empathy to understand how the results are actually going to impact real people. An analyst isn't just a technician who explains the data. They're a storyteller who crafts a narrative that connects with people, that persuades them, and that drives real, meaningful change.
So here's the bottom line. These three skills, this is what sets us apart. This is our unique value in an age of AI. The technology is going to get better and better at handling the what, but it's always going to be our job to provide the why and the so what.
And really, this is the question that we should all be asking ourselves. As AI gets better and better at crunching the numbers and finding the facts, our most important job becomes clearer than ever. The machine can give you the notes, but you're the composer. You're the one who has to arrange them into a story that actually matters.